Get ready for a sci-fi love story of survival, passion, and the courage to face the unknown. Subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss this epic journey among the stars. Life as a Federation scout was supposed to be a quiet one. Explore the fringes of charted space, document anomalies, and return home. But this mission had veered wildly off course. A malfunction in his ship, the Zephyr, had sent him plummeting through the atmosphere of an unknown, jungle-covered planet, and now he lay bruised and battered, watching smoke curl from the shattered hull. The air was thick with a sense of strange, alien flora, a tang of metal, and something else, something alive, watching him. Gritting his teeth, Eli struggled to his feet, grabbing the emergency kit and a communicator. But his comms crackled and fell silent, showing nothing but static. Then, out of the dense foliage, a figure emerged, tall and lithe. She moved with an almost supernatural grace. Her skin shimmered a deep blue, as if woven from night itself, and her green eyes glowed with intelligence and something darker, something almost mischievous. Eli took a cautious step back, his hand instinctively reaching for his sidearm. She raised one arched brow. Is this how humans greet someone who's offering to help? Her voice was smooth, touched with sarcasm. He relaxed slightly, but didn't lower his guard. Well, forgive me if I'm a bit on edge after falling out of the sky. A flicker of amusement crossed her face. I'm Rhyen, she said simply, with a slight nod toward the thick jungle. And if you want to survive here, you'll follow me? Eli hesitated, his eyes narrowed. But his options were limited, and Rhyen didn't look like she needed him nearly as much as he needed her. With a nod, he followed her into the unknown. As they ventured through the dense, alien forest, Eli marveled at the surreal beauty around them. Trees with leaves like glittering scales reached skyward, glowing softly under the wan light of a distant sun. The air buzzed with the sounds of strange creatures flitting through the underbrush. Despite his injuries, Eli was captivated. Rhyen moved with an easy familiarity through the wilderness, her steps light, her gaze sharp. She didn't waste words, but whenever he stumbled or hesitated, she was there with a firm hand to steady him, her touch sending unexpected jolts of warmth through him. What kind of Federation officer are you? She asked, breaking the silence as they climbed a steep incline. You hardly seem cut out for these kinds of crashes. Eli smirked. Let's just say I didn't sign up for a jungle adventure. I'm a scout, not a survivor. She chuckled. It shows. As night fell, they reached a cave hidden within the cliffs. The interior glowed softly with veins of phosphorescent minerals that lined the walls. Rhyen gestured for Eli to sit on a bed of moss, her expression softening for the first time. She applied a paste from a vial to his wounds. The salve glowed faintly as she spread it over his skin, sealing cuts and easing bruises. Her hands were steady, gentle, and her gaze lingered a second longer than necessary. Why are you helping me? Eli asked, breaking the silence. Because I'm curious, she replied, her lips curving into a mysterious smile. Humans don't belong here. And yet here you are. Their eyes met, and for a brief moment, Eli felt something stirring, something unspoken that simmered just beneath the surface. Over the next few days, Rhyen taught Eli how to navigate the alien environment. Their banter became warmer, their silence more comfortable. She showed him which plants were edible, how to harness energy from the strange mineral-rich stones that littered the ground, and even how to make temporary shelters from massive, flexible leaves. But there was an intensity in her gaze that hinted at deeper knowledge she kept hidden. One night, they sat by a fire, watching a meteor shower streak across the sky. The silence between them was thick with unspoken thoughts. Eli found himself stealing glances at her, captivated by her elegance, the way the starlight caught her luminous green eyes. Do you ever wonder if things could be different? He asked quietly, almost to himself. If you could leave this place? She sighed, and for the first time, her confident exterior slipped, revealing something raw, almost haunted. I've wondered, she admitted, her voice barely a whisper. But I'm bound to this planet in ways I can't explain. Eli reached out, brushing his hand over hers. Maybe it doesn't have to be that way. Rhyen looked at him with an intense, searching gaze. Then, before either of them could second-guess, they leaned in, and their lips met. It was a kiss that spoke of both longing and restraint, and it left them breathless, pulling them even closer. In the days that followed, Rhyen grew quieter, her eyes shadowed with a hidden burden. One evening, she took Eli to a place deep in the heart of the jungle, where an ancient temple loomed, an immense structure carved from dark stone, covered in strange symbols that pulsed with a faint, sinister light. "I'm not free to leave," she said, her voice barely audible. "This temple, it holds me here. It binds me to this world. Anyone who comes here isn't meant to leave." Eli's stomach twisted with dread. "What do you mean?" She hesitated, her gaze drifting to the ground. "There's a guardian, an ancient being that controls this planet, binding me and everything here to its will. It feeds on the energy of anyone who stays too long. That's why I try to keep you at a distance, Eli." He stared at her, feeling a mix of fear and determination. "And what if we fought it? Is there a way to stop it?" Rhyen looked up, her eyes filled with both hope and resignation. "There is, but it's dangerous. No one has ever succeeded." Eli gripped her hand, a fierce resolve filling his gaze. "Then we'll be the first." Rhyen and Eli prepared for days, gathering rare stones and strange plants, everything Rhyen could think of that might give them a chance against the Guardian. When the time came, they approached the temple as the shadows grew long. Inside, the air was thick and charged with an unnatural energy. The Guardian appeared, a massive, dark entity, more shadow than form, with eyes like embers and a voice that filled the temple, ancient and filled with malice. "You dare defy me?" it hissed, its words reverberating through the stone walls. Eli and Rhyen launched into the battle, using every trick Rhyen had taught him. They wielded the energy of the mineral stones, their light clashing with the darkness of the Guardian. The fight was brutal and exhausting, the Guardian relentless in its attacks. But together, they wore it down, their resolve unyielding. Finally, with a burst of energy from the planet stones, Rhyen dealt a final blow, scattering the Guardian's shadowy form into nothingness. The temple shuddered, and the oppressive energy faded. The Guardian was gone. Rhyen collapsed into Eli's arms, her breathing shallow. He held her close, pressing a kiss to her forehead. "You freed me," she murmured, her voice filled with awe. "I never thought it was possible." He smiled, brushing a stray strand of hair from her face. "Let's get out of here, then, together." With the Guardian's hold broken, Rhyen was free. They spent several days repairing Eli's ship, harnessing the strange minerals of the planet to rebuild its systems. Every hour they spent working together deepened their bond, and by the time they were ready to leave, Eli knew he couldn't imagine his life without her. As they stood by the Zephyr on the morning of departure, Rhyen gazed out over her former prison one last time. "Are you sure you're ready for a life among the stars?" Eli asked, a gentle smile on his face. Rhyen took his hand, her eyes fierce with both joy and a touch of sadness. "As long as it's with you." Hand in hand, they boarded the ship, leaving the planet, and the darkness that had held her captive, far behind. As they ventured through Federation space, trouble quickly found them. Federation officials eyed Ryan's presence with suspicion, and Eli was forced to concoct elaborate stories to keep her safe. Though Rhyen disguised herself, her otherworldly aura still turned heads, and on more than one occasion, they barely escaped with their freedom. One night, after evading yet another checkpoint, Rhyen looked at him, her gaze filled with worry. "I'm bringing you too much trouble, Eli." He pulled her close, his expression fierce. "You're worth every second of it." Rhyen smiled, the shadows in her eyes lightening. "Then let's see what other trouble we can find." While docked at a major Federation station, their luck finally ran out. Federation agents detained Rhyen, accusing her of being an alien infiltrator, and Eli was taken in for questioning, his every word doubted. Desperate, he struck a deal with a notorious smuggler, Varric, who offered to help free Rhyen in exchange for transporting a mysterious crystal with a dark, pulsing energy, a remnant of the Guardian's power. Eli had no choice but to agree, even as he felt the crystal's malevolent energy. Eli managed to reunite with Rhyen just as Varric's forces closed in. Together, they made their final stand, fighting off attackers within the confines of the Zephyr. Their bond was their strength, and as they launched the crystal into a nearby sun, it exploded in a brilliant flash, ending the Guardian's threat once and for all. Breathing hard, Rhyen looked at him, a smile of relief lighting her face. "You saved me, Eli, in more ways than one." He kissed her, feeling their love anchor him, their journey together just beginning among the stars.
If you enjoyed this story of adventure and romance among the stars, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and let us know your thoughts in the comments below.